the curious case of Colonel Purohit, who was, of course, initially implicated in both the Samjhauta Express blast and the Malegaon blast of 2008. Then earlier this week, the NIA chief went on record to say that Colonel Purohit was not an accused in the Samjhauta blast. And so far, of course, in the Malegaon 2008 blast, the NIA has not filed a charge sheet. Meanwhile, in another twist to the case, two different witnesses earlier this month have given detailed testimonies giving Colonel Purohit a clean chit, retracting their earlier testimonies. NDTV's Tejas Mehta has exclusively accessed these two hostile witnesses, Yashpal Badana and RP Singh. Tejas, what are the details?
Well, Barkha, we have just accessed both these documents which come under section 164 of the CRPC. It is given before a magistrate, so the value, of course, is far more than what is given to any investigating agency. Now, these two accused, Yashpal Badana, he's number 79, he's a witness, in the Malegaon blast case, and RP Singh, his witness number 112, he's also in the Malegaon case and in the Samjhauta blast case. Now, both of them were told by the ATS to have, in the statements recorded by the ATS, they were supposed to have attended meetings which took place of the Abhinav Bharat, not only in Faridabad, also in Bhopal, and they were they were aware of the entire conspiracy. They had met Colonel Purohit, Sadhvi Pragya, and
that
all the other players
in
the entire blast.
That was their original statement, but now they have retracted those statements. They have gone back on those testimonies and denied those testimonies.
Now. Exactly. Now they have said, you have Yashpal Badana who is saying on the fourth day the ATS was recording my me to tell in court that Shankaracharya, that is Dayanand Pandey, one of the accused, was inciting Hindus against Muslims, that he would show such videos too. They told me if I didn't say this, then I would also be involved in the case. They took me to Bhopal and told me that when I give a statement,
the anti-terror, he's accusing the ATS of pressurizing him and forcing him to make these accusations.
Exactly. That's what he says in the statement which he has given now to the Patiala House Court. He also said that all this was written by them. I wasn't given a copy of my statement. Now the NIA has read out the statement to me, and my first statement is baseless. I never went to Bhopal, never attended any meeting. Look at the statement of RP Singh retracting what he has said earlier. He now says at the meetings of Abhinav Bharat in Faridabad and Bhopal, no one discussed about blasting bombs or about killing people or sparking riots. I never said in any of my statements before anything about blasting bombs. So very clearly both of them have retracted. Of course, now this entire procedure has to happen in court because the trial hasn't really begun. The charge sheet by the ATS has been filed. The question is, will now the NIA file a fresh charge sheet, and will, of course, they maintain their stance in the court? That, of course, will be the final retraction of their statements. But of course, we did speak to the lawyers of the accused. They are elated. The public prosecutor, of course, keeping tight-lipped, but they did mention that this doesn't augur really well. Barkha?
Right, and of course, Tejas, along with Captain Nitin Joshi, Yashpal Badana and RP Singh's retractions that you have accessed, make it at least 3 detailed retractions, 3 hostile witnesses, all actually making a case for Colonel Purohit and leading Colonel Purohit's supporters to say that he was not guilty, but he was in fact framed. And that is, of course, the main debate of the buck stops here tonight. Tejas Mehta, thank you so much. Tejas exclusively accessing detailed retractions by 2 witnesses, key witnesses, Yashpal Badana and RP Singh. Let's introduce our panel now. We'll also hear from a moment from Minister of State for Home, Kiran Rijiju, on how the government is viewing these retractions. But let's get on the program. Sudhanshu Trivedi, senior leader of the BJP, is with us. Jaiveer Shergill, a spokesperson of the Congress, is with us. Milind Joshi Rao, spokesperson of the Abhinav Bharat, that is, of course, the group that has been implicated in these cases, but they have always been arguing that they've been framed. And Rana Ayub, senior journalist who spent many years actually investigating the Malegaon blasts in particular. Sudhanshu Trivedi, your first comments. It could, of course, be argued that these are hostile witnesses, and witnesses turning hostile do not necessarily prove innocence or guilt. They simply prove that witnesses, retracted what they said earlier. And I must also point out to you, Sudhanshu, that in this same month of April, we have the curious case of NIA witness testimonies recorded before a magistrate going missing from an NIA court, which also makes this retraction seem extremely suspicious.
Barkha, on the technical grounds, the investigating agencies and lawyers can do a lot of discussion. But DG NIA has made it very clear that in Samjhauta Express case, Colonel Purohit was never an accused. So there is no question of being calling him that he has been cleared off.
Yes.
But you look at the instance, how the entire things have happened. All those 4 or 5 cases of the so-called Saffron terror, all in these cases were shifted to NIA in 2011.
Yes.
In most of the cases, the charge sheets were done in 2011. But the Saffron terror phrase was first used by P. Chidambaram in the proceedings of Rajya Sabha in December 2009. In July 2010, Rahul Gandhi, in a party hosted by US Ambassador David Melford in the honor of Hillary Clinton, says that LET is not that much problem, that the big problem is Hindu terror. And in the end of 2010, Digvijay Singh goes to Mumbai and inaugurates a book which says that 2611 is an RSS conspiracy. It means the so-called Hindu terror is not the diagnosis of the problem. Rather than it seems that it was a thesis on which a premise was built up, because prior to NIA giving any investigative conclusion, the senior leaders of Congress have started using these phrases. So if you look at the entire political perspective, there is a serious doubt which is created right from Ishrat Jahan case to Malegaon case, even to Samjhauta Express case, in which the US agencies were categorically saying that this is the Pakistani angle.
So what is your accusation? You're saying the Congress fabricated all these cases, but may I point out to you in 2013, it was R.K. Singh, who's currently a member of parliament with your party, who actually spoke about terror cases and the links with individuals who are associated with the RSS. He's on record saying this.
Barkha, whatever he was saying in the capacity of Home Secretary, it is for him to reply, but you can understand. The 2006 Malegaon case was there. Till 2014, their government was there. For 8 years, what they were doing? If they were having such a concrete proof, why they have not charge sheeted?
So you are saying that right now are you calling these fabricated cases? Are you going so far as to preempt the court and say these are fabricated cases, Sudhanshu Trivedi?
No. I am talking politically. On the technical aspect, the lawyers will say whatever is technically available.
Okay.
Politically, what I am trying to say, that the entire premise that you are making someone accused and not able to charge sheet over the years, whether it is the case of Asimanand, who was charge sheeted in 2011, whether it is the cases of
so let me bring in the Congress now.
So it all creates a deep suspicion about the attitude of Congress when you look in the backdrop of Rahul Gandhi Chidambaram's statement.
Jaiveer Shergill, the fact is that Digvijay Singh today says in a rather curious statement that actually BJP leaders were trying to negotiate with us to go slow on these cases, and he even says that a BJP leader went to Manmohan Singh. The fact of the matter is Digvijay Singh never said this before. He's never disclosed this before. If the Congress was in possession of this information that the BJP was on the defensive, why did you not go public with it? What were these so-called secret negotiations about? And the fact that these 3 witnesses now in particular are talking about Colonel Purohit's innocence does create a problem for the Congress, which went so big on what it calls saffron terror.
Barkha, I'll separate the wheat from the chaff. Firstly, Congress party strongly objects to this term of saffron terror.
You object to it?
I object to it, and I'm candidly saying.
But you remember your own Home Minister's statements, Mr. Shinde, who spoke about RSS running terror camps, and he had to withdraw it after there was an uproar in Parliament. So, you know.
You're right. Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad clarified that in the Parliament in reply to Mr. Raj.
Okay, but on the specifics.
On the specific now, Barkha, there are 3 aspects. One is of the witnesses, one of Mr. Digvijay Singh. What is the hurry? Why is BJP behaving like Pakistan?
What do you mean?
I'm explaining. BJP is behaving like Pakistan. They are trying to give a clean check to the terror accused before the conclusion of the trial. What is the difference between them and the Pakistan army or Pakistan government?
They would argue you did the opposite by naming people guilty without giving them
a chance
to establish
Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi answered only politically. I will answer both politically and legally.
Okay, quickly, I want to go to Rana now.
Why is BJP trying to politically hijack ongoing judicial process? Was Mr. Sudhanshu Trivedi present on the crime scene, or was Jaiveer Shergill present on the crime scene to say Colonel Purohit is guilty or not? Question number 1. And Barkha, don't you find something mischievous that all the witnesses who have turned hostile have an affiliation to RSS? I have a list. Randhir Singh became a minister after he turned hostile in Ajmer Blast case. Is that a coincidence? No. The focus of the government seems to be this. to please their political masters, they are trying to take sides in an ongoing judicial process.
Okay, okay, I'll get Sudhanshu to respond to that in just a moment. But Rana, you have made the point that there are audio tapes, there are videotapes, there is a laptop that has recorded evidence. But Colonel Purohit and his lawyers have always argued that, look, I was a military intelligence officer, I infiltrated these groups. So of course I was there, and of course I was playing a part. But that does not implicate me, and it would seem the NIA believes that as well, because there is no mention of this colonel in the Samjhauta charge sheet, and of course the Malegaon charge sheet is still to even surface.
I don't understand, Barkha, why is truth becoming a casualty in this political tug of war in two cases which are of great significance. Let us not forget, and I hope that the BJP will remember the contribution of ATS Chief Hemant Karkare, who was there was almost a witch hunt against him by the RSS and the Shiv Sena, calling him names and calling him traitor, when all he said, and he had evidence against the right-wing organizations of their involvement in the Malegaon 2008 blast. And amongst the other evidence that Hemant Karkare and his team had in the charge sheet, there is a small snippet, there is a small conversation which I would want to read out for some clarity that the BJP might want to, shed some light on. Colonel Purohit says that Lieutenant Colonel Dhar, who's also, there are about 6 people, including Colonel Lajpat Prajwal, and Mr. R.P. Singh is heard talking about King Gyanindra's closest relative sat with us in Gorakhpur. We are constantly in touch with them. Major Prayag Modak was the one who came to our meeting. Lieutenant Colonel Purohit, he has been with the army. We have done 2 such projects in the past, 2006, 2008.
But Colonel Purohit is making the argument that this was my role as a military intelligence officer. That is his argument repeatedly. In fact, in his letter to Manohar Parrikar this month, he actually says that there are 14 reports I initiated on my different infiltrations into groups like Simi, into other Maoist groups. That's what his letter claims. So Rana, quickly, how would you rebut that before I go to Milind Joshi Rao?
But here again, Barkha, he is in conversation. If he was really a military intelligence officer who was carrying out a covert operation, why is it that he did not cooperate with the ATS? Why is it that he was making calls to Pragya Thakur when Hemant Karkare was actually making inroads into the investigation? Why didn't he go and tell the ATS, listen, I have been collaborating with these people, and this is the truth.
Let me get Milind Joshi Rao in. Let me get Milind Joshi Rao in. Milind Joshi Rao, you represent the Abhinav Bharat, which is at the center of this entire storm. Now, even when Colonel Purohit says he tried to infiltrate your organization, it doesn't necessarily give your organization a clean sheet. In fact, it suggests that he was trying to find out what was going on within the Abhinav Bharat. How do you see the turning hostile of these 3 witnesses, Captain Nitin Joshi's account, Yashpal Badana's account, R.P. Singh's account?
Ma'am, first of all, these 2 gentlemen, Mr. R.P. Singh and Badana,
yes,
they have turned so-called hostile day before yesterday or maybe 15 days back or so.
Yes.
But so long as I know, most of these witnesses in Malegaon 2008 blast case, they have retracted their statements right in 2008. They were coerced and they were made to make statement in front of the magistrate. Within a week or so, they again reapproached the magistrate, and at that instance itself, they have retracted the statement. So there is no question of that. The retractions are happening right now. It has been happening since 2008. It is the conscience of the members of Abhinav Bharat which made them retract the statement, which were given under a pressure, under the duress. Now, so long as Miss Ayub is concerned, she is quoting the telephonic experts.
Yes. She's quoting from the tapes, Milind. Yes, she's quoting from the tapes. Go ahead, Milind.
Yeah, she's been quoting about the tapes. Now, what we understand, first and foremost thing, Colonel Purohit was part of Abhinav Bharat. He was one of the founder members of Abhinav Bharat. Now, you don't found or you don't organize an organization. You don't make an organization to infiltrate into it. So there was no infiltration into Abhinav Bharat. Yes, there were attempts of infiltration into Simmi, Indian Mujahideen and all these jihadist group, but that is probably the principal work of Abhinav Bharat which we have been doing since 2004. So there is no infiltration by Purohit into Abhinav Bharat. He was very well part of Abhinav Bharat.
Barkha,
Third, about the telephonic
Colonel
discussions
Purohit
between Purohit and Sadri and Asimanand. All
No, but
these-
but the point, Rana, is the point is the case has to stand
Sorry?
up in court. I know. 1 minute. I want to get Sudhanshu in, but Rana, just a quick point to you. The case has to stand up in court. So now, if you have Yashpal Badana, for example, saying that the ATS basically told me that if I don't give this testimony, I would also be named as an accused. You have Captain Nitin Joshi, who's already come up with this
Barkha,
representation. How will this case stand in
Barkha,
court
by
then,
that
Rana?
yardstick,
Yeah.
by that yardstick, every criminal investigation in this country in which the trial is yet to begin will fall into pieces, because most of the witnesses in most of the cases, when the cases drag for years, witnesses turn hostile for all practical reasons, because governments change, because regimes change. I remember in 2011 when I produced these tapes for the first time, then ATS chief Mr. Raghuvanshi, KPS Raghuvanshi, clearly told me that they could not carry on the investigation in a free and fair manner, because there was always a military intelligence officer monitoring their investigation, and there was a clear involvement of military intelligence and army along with Abhinav Bharat in Malegaon blast 2006 and 2008.
But did he?
This is KPS Raghuvanshi
Okay,
on
let me get
record.
Sudhanshu Trivedi.
Yeah.
Sudhanshu Trivedi and Javeed Shergill, the fact of the matter is the terror conversation has become so politicized between the two of you. I'll come to you, Milind Joshi. Sudhanshu Trivedi, please, your response, and then I want to play out Kiran Rijiju and what he's saying on this. Yeah, go ahead, Sudhanshu.
Actually, you have said very well, Barkha, that this is going so much politicized, because technically now I am responding to Mr. Javeed Shergill. In 2013, in Malegaon blast, your government has decided that you will not oppose the bail of those who are Muslims accused, but you will oppose the bail of those who are Hindu accused. Why you are taking such a religious line? Either you should allow, this is the Rohini
How
Sangwan's
ridiculous is
written
that,
statement.
Sudhanshu?
Barkha, object
So
to
this
side.
shows that you are having a deliberate political line in this context. Either you should allow each and every to be in the jail and let the court decide, or you should allow each and every accused to go on bail and then let the court decide. But this type of statements
Okay,
and
Javeed
writings
Shergill,
on,
brief
it
introduction.
shows clearly,
Sudhanshu, just one
Sudhanshu
question.
ji, Rana ji, just give me 30
one more
seconds.
thing, one more thing.
Please.
Rana
Why
ji, please
in
give-
all the cases, forget about the Indian agencies, FBI's input, whether it is Ishrat Jahan case or Samjhauta case, suddenly during the UPA government, your investigation goes in
Sudhanshu
one
ji,
direction, and
Sudhanshu
suddenly
ji,
it goes back. And foreign agencies are saying one thing.
Sudhanshu ji,
Just one
BJP,
question,
Rana ji,
just
please give me
one
10
pointed
seconds. I have not got
question.
opportunity. BJP has a track record of linking religion with terror and not vice versa. Have you
Your Home
forgotten
Minister
in a
has
mock
used
drill?
the
I
word
did not
Hindu
object.
Atangavad.
Have you forgotten
Your
in a
Rahul
mock
Gandhi
drill
has
you showed
used-
members
your
of Muslim
Chidambaram
community
has
as terrorists?
used never
Point
one
number one.
pointed
Point number two,
question.
Barkha, I have a judgment of the Supreme Court. Sudhanshu ji, 2014 7 SCC 716 para 225 Supreme Court of India says BJP Gujarat police under BJP government is in the habit of framing innocent people. BJP has a track record of framing innocent people, not Congress party. Number 3, since you're talking about NIA and charge sheet, 2 years your director has been power. Why after 2 years he's saying Colonel Purohit is innocent? Was he sleeping for 2 years?
No, but
Number
Colonel
2,
Purohit was
NIA
not named
failed
in-
to...
but Colonel Purohit was not named in any
One
charge
second.
sheet
NIA,
by the NIA.
no,
my
that's a,
limited point.
if
Barkha,
that
my
is the
limited
case,
question.
if that is the case today, there, how is BJP giving a character certificate to Colonel
Okay,
Purohit before
Rana's
conclusion
question,
of
Rana,
legal
his
trial?
question to Sudhanshu Trivedi. Rana, what is your
The
question to
character of
Sudhanshu?
Congress is
1
gradually
minute,
coming
Rana,
up.
what's your
Just
question?
one
to
point.
Don't behave like Pakistan. Pakistan also
Javeed,
The
Javeed, that's it.
BJP
Yeah, what's your question,
नहीं
Rana?
पाकिस्तान से तो आपके यहाँ के लोगों के बड़े अच्छे रिलेशन
अरे बिरयानी आप खाते हैं हम नहीं।
अरे
अरे
चलिए,
सुनिए
let's not go there.
आपके जाके सलमान खुर्शीद और मणिशंकर अय्यर कहते हैं कि मोदी को हटाओ पाकिस्तान में जाके
कर्नल महादेव की
सुधांशु
चिता
जी।
अभी जल रही थी जब आपके प्रधानमंत्री बिरयानी खा रहे थे नवाज शरीफ की शादी
अरे
पे।
आपके तो
याद
मिनिस्टर
रखिए ये
जाके
बात।
पाकिस्तान से
I am
मदद
not going to
मांगते हैं कि
interrupt
मोदी को
here.
हटाओ।
No, Javeed and Sudhanshu
Foreign
Trivedi.
minister आपका छोटा
Please,
मोटा
1 minute. Let's come back to what we're talking about. Rana, you very
Sudhanshu?
pointed question for Sudhanshu Trivedi. What is it?
Yeah. Sudhanshu, you are somebody who makes a lot of sense, especially amongst most of the spokesperson that we come across. So I'll ask you a very pointed question. Your party, when it was in opposition in parliament, created a huge ruckus about how a martyr like Hemant Karkare, was just sent to the field, the battlefield. I want to know from you, a martyr like Hemant Karkare, who was defeated by you. Are you casting aspersion on his investigation when he said that the Malegaon 2008 blast was done by Abhinav Bharat and Colonel Purohit and Sadhvi Pragya Thakur being the main accused? Are you suggesting Sudhanshu here that Hemant Karkare had ulterior motive?
Rana, that's a leap, but I'll let Sudhanshu answer it. Sudhanshu, quickly
Rana,
answer that.
you have done so many good investigation on this.
Ma'am, I would like to answer to that.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Up
I
till
would like
now,
to
the
answer to
Hemant
that.
Karkare is no more right now. But Digvijay Singh on record has said that Hemant Karkare talked to him before he died, and he keeps on talking to him on terror. It is on record, Digvijay Singh. So then ask the Congress party and Digvijay Singh what was the views of Hemant Karkare, because they are the only living person who can give a testimony what Hemant Karkare was having in mind.
Milind Joshi Rao.
By
Ma'am,
that
I want to
yardstick,
speak
it
on
also
Mr.
officers
Hemant
speaking
Karkare.
now in the Ishwar Jahan case, hold no look.
No,
Yeah,
1 minute.
ma'am,
Let's not go
I
into
want-
Ishwar Jahan. That's a whole separate discussion. Milind Joshi Rao, go ahead.
Ma'am, I want to speak on Mr. Hemant Karkare. I have a first-hand experience with Mr. Hemant Karkare during the period of interrogation, which I was a part of it. I was detained. I have met Mr. Hemant Karkare several times. And Mr. Digvijay Singh, in his statement, when he said that there are some Hindutvawadi elements which are, dhamkofying Hemant Karkare, at that time, actually, it was Mr. Hemant Karkare who was being pressurized by the Congress government to put in more and more Hindu people into this case. We have witnessed him under duress.
Okay, now
There was a
we are getting
specific
into the
target of
levels of-
arresting
now,
at least
you know-
20 people in this Malegaon case, out of which 5. I have a first-hand
This is not
experience.
a-
None
It is
of these
disgusting,
panelists have
sir.
been
It is
involved into the
disgusting. Please
investigation.
don't
I'm the
speak
only
on
one
this
over
level.
here.
Waiting for the
I can
outcome
say
of a
it
legal
under.
verdict is my question to Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay,
Why are you in
let's
so
put
much
this
of hurry to
question-
give
let's
them a
put-
clean
let's-
sheet?
let's
Do you
listen to-
really believe
Why is
that
BJP in such a
Ma'am, do
tearing
you
hurry
really
to
believe
give a
that
clean sheet to terror
Ma'am, do you
criminals before a
really,
legal
anybody
verdict is
of this
out?
panelists
That is
believe
the larger
that
question which
Mr.
no
Hemant
BJP
Karkare,
spokesperson
who
is asking.
was an IPS officer and
let
a
us
prompt
listen to
IPS
what-
officer,
appropriate for the
was
government to take
afraid
sides
of
on
Hindu
Okay, I'm
elements.
going to interject all of you. I think Hemant Karkare is no more, and let's talk about him with some sensitivity and some care, whether it's Digvijay Singh or anybody else. All of us should do that. Kiran Rijiju, I put this question to him. What is the government's assessment of this case? And let's listen to what he said. Mr. Rijiju, we have seen a statement from the Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar today saying that all documents that Colonel Purohit needs for his trial will be provided to him. What is your assessment as Home Minister about Lieutenant Colonel Purohit?
I see in this case I'm not in a position to make any specific comments because I am from the ministry and I'm in the know of the things, how the things are moving, and we are confident of the investigating agencies for getting into the bottom of the case. But what can I can tell you, Barka, at this stage is that we will allow our investigating agencies to conduct the entire process of in the case with full independence and without interference from the government. We are very hopeful that the NIA's level of proceedings in the case is quite satisfactory, and we are hopeful that those who are innocent will not be punished unnecessarily, and those who are guilty will be brought under book.
But Mr. Rijiju, I have here before me two different reports of the Mumbai Mirror. One dated April 7, 2016 actually talks about how shockingly key witness statements, 7 of them went mysteriously missing from the NIA court. These were all made before a magistrate and therefore were admissible as evidence. And that same month, April 21st, you suddenly have 2 of these witnesses whose earlier statements have gone missing, now retracting their statements, saying they were made under pressure and giving a clean chit to Colonel Purohit. So people could say that that is suspicious that both of these things happen in the same month.
In the initial stage, when the investigating agencies identify and catch the eyewitness, then you can say that there are certain roles being played by the agencies. But once the witnesses are identified, the investigating agencies have no role to play on that. They cannot catch on the witnesses. It is between the court and the witnesses to deal with the whole issue, and even the expenditures of the witnesses are borne by the court. So at this point of time, there is no role whatsoever for the agencies to influence or to motivate any of the witness. So this kind of politically motivated charges are totally false, and it doesn't hold any water.
All right, so the government disassociating itself from those missing witness statements, saying it happened in the court, the government had nothing to do with it. We have time only for last comments, 30 seconds each. Milind Joshi Rao, your last comments.
Ma'am, we have been maintaining that we have been innocent since 2008. This has been framework of Congress government to induct Hindus into it so that they can tag the line as Saffron terror. we were working against the jihadi groups against this. Colonel Purohit was working against the jihadi groups, working against India. So we are innocent. That's
Okay.
my last comment.
Javeer.
BJP
Barkha,
should,
Barkha,
I'm coming to you, Rana. I'm
BJP
coming
should
to you.
stop putting a question mark on the wisdom of the judiciary of this country. It will shake the faith of the people in judiciary. Second, please stop looking at terror cases through prism of religion. Political parties have to be united in this fight.
Rana, one of the things that Colonel Purohit has said in his letters and his supporters say is that the NI chief made a trip to the United States of America to further probe whether the LET actually had links with Samjhauta, which was the first theory, and Arif Kasmani and all the rest of that. So do you believe that given all these contradictions, this case can stand in court?
Barkha, I'll make three very simple points. One, Colonel Purohit was not siphoning of RDX and giving it to Abhinav Bharat for charity. That is something he has himself confessed. That is something, there are statements of various co-accused in the case.
Okay.
Statements of at least 3 army men who have corroborated that he was siphoning of RDX and giving it off. Second, Hemant Karkare, on the day he was martyred, gave an interview to NDTV on record and gave an interview to me when I was employed with Tehelka, stating that there was absolutely no political pressure on him and that he was under immense pressure to, not act against right-wing groups, and that he had acted only on the basis of evidence that was there in this.
Okay.
I would suggest that let not truth be a casualty in a political tug-of-war between the BJP and the Congress. Let the investigation, let the trial begin in the case. Yeah.
Okay, Sudhanshu Trivedi, that seems a fair point, that the BJP should not be preempting the court, just as the Congress should not have done it when they were in government, nor should you do it now. Political parties are nobody to issue certificates of guilt and innocence.
Definitely no party should give any such certificate. As Rana was saying, that there should not be a casualty to the truth, but the things which are coming through RTI, even through the international agencies, or even the proceedings of the court, it is proving that the truth was casualty for the sake of vote bank politics. I would like to say one sentence in Hindi कि जो कुछ इन्होंने किया है देश की सुरक्षा के साथ खिलवाड़, कि अंग्रेजों ने हमको बांटा, फिर भी अपने देश की खातिर इन्होंने हर परिवेश को बांटा कुर्सी के उद्देश्य की खातिर, कम से कम नेशनल सिक्योरिटी तो छोड़ दिया होता.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. This is an ongoing debate, and one of the key questions we actually need to address is that these blasts of Malegaon took place in 2008. In 2016, we don't even have a charge sheet. So, that in itself, I think that the delay of it points to and raises questions about whether the truth will actually ever be established. It's been 8 years, and that's something to leave you all with tonight. Rana Ayub, Javeer Shergill, Milind Joshi Rao, and Sudhanshu Trivedi, thank you for joining us on the Buck Stops here.